Let us talk about the radical inclusion of the Divine Mother Kali. So, when you think about religion or spirituality in general, usually put spiritual people into one category and everybody else into another. Or maybe there's several categories. The Divine Mother, as she manifests as everything, everyone is included. It is said that even demons and ghosts worship Shiva and Shakti, the Divine Mother Kali. So what does this mean? Does Kali give them powers? Does she grant them certain abilities? No. These beings, these lower kinds of beings, these very malicious kinds of beings, they worship the Divine Mother Kali as well, because even though they are lesser as far as their development, so much so that they're just completely self-absorbed, the Divine Mother teaches them and accepts them as her children as well. To demons, asuras, rakshasas, and other kinds of beings, yakshas, that are more subtle than us, but also more gross in the way that they want things. They can't even get contained by a material body. They have to be on a subtler dimension and confined outside of other dimensions. The way that they worship the Divine Mother Kali is that they worship her in her fiercest form. Material consciousness, materiality, base consciousness will only ever see the Divine Mother Kali in her fierce form. She's engaging with you, but she's only going to engage with you in that form. And these beings, they worship her in that form. They think she's only that form. That's the only form of her that they see, and they can only deal with her ferocity. That ferocity is there, and it's there for beings with materialistic consciousness, who cannot see her, cannot see nature in any other way, cannot see the laws of the multiverse in any other way but the ferocity of the kind of consciousness that they are stuck in. But she engages with them. She engages with materialistic people even. There are so many sides to her that more sides of her open up, the more expanded your consciousness is, the greater your consciousness is. But, for human beings, it said if you want to be saintly, you follow a saint around, you have saintly company, you have good people around you who aren't materialistic, who are in good moods, who are positive, and who aren't going to lead you into negative states of mind. But for Shiva and Shakti being the Divine Mother Kali, for me anyway, they are the highest level of company. So you can find them, if you want to use a very human way of viewing them in a single body, around ghosts, demons, yakshas, rakshasas, asuras, because their help is needed there the most. It's the child who gets dirty, who's playing in the mud, that the mother is most likely to grab, pick up, and clean, because that's the one who needs it. They're in a terrible situation. They need to be cleaned. And even in those extreme circumstances, this is one instance where it does not scale down for human beings for us to behave in this way. But when the Divine Mother has to kill a demon who is hurting human beings, who is causing all this chaos and trouble. And when I say demon, I mean some kind of force. It's not as literal as the Abrahamic traditions, where it's like this guy with a pitchfork that's jumping around, poking people, stabbing people, things like that. It's not always that literal. Sometimes it is, but it's not always that literal. But when she has to put down someone like this, usually a different entity is the ones I'm talking about, but also human beings, when she has to put down somebody like this who's causing so much trouble and pain for other entities, all this trouble in destroying them and killing them, she cleanses them. That is why, Rakta Bija, when she drank all the blood out of that demon's neck after Vishnu severed his head with the Sri Chakra, she's the only one who could process all that demon blood, because every drop that fell would sprout a new Raktabija. So she drank all the blood and processed it. She can process it when we cannot. She can process anything that we feel is negative or painful that we're holding on to. We can offer it to her. She can process it because she is the mother. And no matter how bad it is, no matter what we do, we can offer it up to her. And we can try to do better. And true repentance, or true, not to use, repentance, there's a lot of Christianity around that. But true feeling bad for what you did, and saying, God, Mother, I'm sorry that I did this. Here's this thing that I did. If you truly want to be forgiven for that, and it's not just you're trying to get your karma wiped clean, or you're just trying not to pay for what you did, you will try to do better. And if you offer up, no matter what you did, in a state where you are actually going to try to do better, and you actually feel bad for what you did, no matter what it is, she will cleanse you of that. Who knows what will happen in the actual world, but you won't get off scot-clean, but karmically, energetically, inwardly, you will be at peace by offering up no matter what you did, and cleansed of that crime. It's interesting because I fight back against religion and religious terms a lot of the time, but all the avatars, Krishna, Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, historical Buddha, and Jesus Christ, they are all the greatest and most direct manifestations of the Divine Mother in this world, in the material world. Everything's a Divine Mother to various degrees. Everything's Kali to various degrees. Everything's Shakti to various degrees. But those avatars that outwardly were male were actually the Divine Mother descended to help us. That was the love, the unconditional love of this crazy world. That part of God, that unconditional love and compassion, the Divine Mother, descends in the form of these avatars, manifests herself in a very real, most tangible way to help us. And it is error and foolishness that make us see all spiritual paths and all religions as separate things. They're all manifestations of her in different ways that work for various people, or lack thereof. But, when you truly realize that everything is the Divine Mother to various frequencies, that's how we tell the difference between aspects or different things in the world, because various degrees. And what thing is good for us, what thing is bad for us. Because what's good for a tiger is not good for a human. What's good for a deer is not good for a human. The grass and the tigers get along very well, and the grass hates the deer. But the deer hates the tiger. And while viewing everything as the Divine Mother, if we walk up to a tiger and say, hey, this is Divine Mother, that attacks you, we have to realize that we have to intelligently decipher things for things and what's good for us. And once you realize everything is the Divine Mother, Kali, then you start to realize that no matter what you do, eventually she's going to guide you in one life or another. Eventually you're going to learn enough and follow her guidance enough to reach unification with her. That's always the end goal. There's no state that is separate from the source, the all, that I call the Divine Mother. That is always the end. So it's almost like nothing here really matters, because this world itself is, it is her, but it is, the least real frequencies of her creates this reality. And you start to realize that, once you realize that nothing matters, you can handle it in a few different ways. A Tamasic person, if they realize that nothing matters, they might not realize this realization I'm talking about because they're Tamasic. Their energy is more torpor, more darkness, more ignorance, fear, that drives them. That's the essence. If they have cultivated this energy in their life and they have taken on this energy knowingly or unknowingly, Tamasic person will hear that and be like, oh, nothing matters, and why do I be motivated to anything ever? I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. That's the reaction of a Tomasic person. A Tomasic person might also think, well, that means I can do whatever I want and treat myself badly and treat others badly because nothing matters anyway, right? And that's still another variation of, oh, nothing matters, whatever. A Rajasic person, restless energy. They've cultivated restless energy in their life, a lot of desire, a lot of back and forth between darkness and light. Always wanting to do stuff, but not really deciding in their heads exactly what the goals are, but just as long as doing. It's the epitome of a Rajasic person. A Rajasic person will hear that and say, nothing matters, then what do I do? And they might be very flummoxed. Or they might hear that and say, they might just completely reject it. Of course, I just got to keep doing things because I don't want to think about that. A Rajasic person might think that. A Sattvic person, somebody who's cultivated this energy in their life, would hear nothing matters or realize this, nothing matters, and say, oh, well, that means I can try my best, and even if I fail, it's going to be okay. I can try and not be worried. It's a weight off of a Sattvic person's heart and mind that, even if I try, and I'm going to try because I'm here, but even if I try and fail, it's still okay. And that's the kind of attitude that we have to take up. We still have to try, because that's what we're here. This world is a great opportunity, and terrible things exist to create a scenario where we have this opportunity with as much choice as we possibly can. That's why there's so many different terrible things and good things in this world. We have all this choice, and all the trouble that we see is combinations of people not using their lives very wisely, and also ultimately trial and error. And all these various things are happening. Bad things exist. Those are also part of the Divine Mother, but not good for us. Not the, tiger might be part of the Divine Mother, but don't approach it. It'll kill you. You are a human being. You have certain standards to reach and certain things that are good for you. And the evil and the darkness exist in this world to give us the opportunity to explore what it is to not work towards the Divine Mother, the all, the source. What it is. To experience failure. To experience grief. To experience just going down the wrong path in a number of different ways. That's why these various forms of her that are, or these evils in this world exist. Ultimately, so that we, the individual soul, the Atman, which is part of her in the truest sense, but isolated, she became everything so that she could experience herself from an external vantage point. And we are experiencing her from an external vantage point. And once we merge back with her, we will realize what a wonderful journey this has been. Through its ups and downs, through its grief and sorrow. But once we merge back with her, then the story is concluded. And yet, infinite experience and consciousness at the same time. It's wonderful. So we don't really end. The person that we are does not truly end. But yes, so nothing matters. But that's okay. Do your best. And the Divine Mother includes everybody and everything in her lessons in whatever way that you are willing to engage with her. If you're drawn to this video, if you're drawn to spirituality in general in some way, you can understand this in some way, then your soul is going to hold you to a higher level than it might hold somebody who has no spiritual understanding or no attraction to spirituality. In that way, you might receive less mercy. I don't know if I want to put it that way, but the Divine Mother, remember the Divine Mother manifests in nature in a number of different, like all the ways. Not just the beautiful ways that we think, but, a mother orangutan giving birth and then eating the afterbirth and then taking care of the baby. Not very attractive to the mind, and the Divine Mother, in the form of Kali, drapes herself in all these bodies and gore in a way to say, like, look, this is also me, but how are you doing this as well to yourself by valuing your exterior or not accepting everything as part of everything else, like the mother orangutan, or the baby, or the mother mouse who had one of her babies did not live until she eats the baby. Gain the nourishment back, leave a clean place for the rest of the babies, and life continues. Not the prettiest form of nature, but that's also her. And that's also okay. That's what a mother mouse is supposed to do. So these are not corruptions. These are just the ugly parts of nature. But they're not corruptions, they're not evil. It's just not the part we usually look at. But think about beauty and how thin what we view as beauty is. When you look inside of a beautiful person and somebody that you consider as ugly, inside they look the same and there's nothing to be attracted to. Beauty is skin deep, surface deep. And then that's another mystery of the Divine Mother Kali, is that she has all these things on her, so that those who will be afraid will be scared off, and those who want to know what is behind that or what those things actually mean will seek her deeper and find her within themselves. Nature is vast. This world is scary, but it's all the Divine Mother, and her lessons are endless. No matter what you're going through, there's a lesson that she's trying to teach you in it. And do your best, but remember, this Dharma, the moral fabric of everything, is not about justice. It's about empathy and growth. So if you want somebody else punished for something, there's probably a lesson, not only for that person, whatever happens to them, but also a lesson for you in there that's deeper behind that desire. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. This has been a video about the Divine Mother Kali and her radical inclusion and how she includes everything. I hope this has been interesting. Like this video if you liked it at all. Leave a comment. Also helps out the channel a bunch. And feel free to share this video wherever you like. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.